You. So you are the union representative of the Young Green Society on campus,
So
right?
I have to go to all of the student union meetings and try and stick up for my society when something relevant happens.
Okay, so do these meetings happen quite regularly?
Yeah, so I can't from the exact timetable, but there's a few every semester. They're not super frequent, they are quite long, so it's like 2 or 3 hours at a time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so like they debate like changes to societies and debate and proposals for new societies and the like. So for last year, you had the whole rule where at least one member of a committee's senior member of a society's senior committee members had to be female or non-binary identifying, and that was passed by Union Council, I believe, or they were consulted in part.
Wait, so I mean, let's go into that a bit more. So you need on the society's committee there needs to be at least a female or a non-binary identity.
For the positions of president, secretary, no, not secretary, they replaced it with vice president, vice president, or treasurer are the 3 most important roles, which are referred to as the secretariat.
Okay.
It's now, ideal. I don't know how strict they're being, because with small societies, it's quite difficult. Like the society I used to run, if that rule had been in effect this time last year, we would not have been able to keep the society alive, because there were just 3 of us who were actually willing to run.
And because you wouldn't be able to fit and those diversity kind of places.
It's a nice idea. Like, I don't necessarily oppose it, but I do. It depends how strictly they're willing to adhere to it. So I have heard that if you literally cannot find anyone who to fill that quota for your society, they'll be like, okay, we're not going to shut you down over this. You can run somebody else, which is fair enough. But again, that's something I had no discussion in. That was before I got elected. So,
and so you don't necessarily not support it, right? You support the proposal.
I feel like they're trying to catch me out here.
I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm curious.
No, it's like I applaud the sentiment behind it, because I feel like they wouldn't have passed something like that unless they'd identified that there was a problem with lack of representation at the high levels in societies and clubs. So hopefully it'll be nice to see a more diverse student leadership coming next year. But the downside, obviously, is that you risk getting some small societies are left out in the cold because they do not have enough people to fill up the roles, or not the right people for the quota. But as I said, if they strike a right balance, they're not too hard, but it's more of a guideline rather than an absolute rule. Then I'm happy with it.
Because it does go and it kind of attack equality of opportunity, does it?
Yeah, like affirmative action. Yeah, it's again, there's no. I'm
not trying to catch you out.
No. I get it. No, it's a cool debate. It's just some people negotiate in bad faith when they're discussing these sort of topics. And I get a bit frustrated with that. But you're not one of those people. Yeah. So it's the same with any sort of affirmative action. The argument is obviously that you're equality of opportunity. You're infringing on people who aren't part of those quotas to be able to run in their own capacity. And that is kind of true, but I will say these are, there is no rule saying you have to stick exactly to that job description. So as long as you fill those 3 roles, you can kind of run the society as you like. So you can, there's a bunch of other smaller roles, and you can just transfer roles from the president or the treasurer, etc., to those smaller roles if you want to.
So the role itself is just a title.
Yeah, I mean they have technical power. So if if you want to get in touch with the SU or book staff, then technically the president or the treasurer has to deal with relevant issues. But they can just act as a front while the real decision making goes on behind the scenes. So it's just the SU just wants people in those 3 positions. As long as you do that, you can do what you want basically. That's my experience from running a society.
And which society did you?
I was president of the Mod UN Society last year. I'm stepping down to secretary this year. I was the vice president / treasurer for the Greens and treasurer for Philosophy Society as well.
Wow, a lot of societies.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah, so I'm sort of cutting back this year because I've got to focus on my degree and my dissertation. But, it was fun.
You enjoyed it?
I don't know. Some parts, the radio show and working for Concrete was really fun. I'm really glad I did that, even though it took up a fair bit of time, especially Concrete. That was painful. But, you get to meet lots of good people. You get to have an outlet for things you're passionate about or want to talk about. Like this.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I took those opportunities, but now is the time to cut back a little.
And focus, right? Okay. I just want to bring back very, very quickly to the diversity topic we just talked about. And from my limited understanding, positive discrimination in the UK is technically illegal, right? I'm pretty sure.
It depends. Positive discrimination is quite a nebulous term.
Okay. In the idea that only certain certain identities have to be put. Certain identities have to fill a specific quota in a specific organization or company in the UK. So that's technically illegal.
Yeah, it's imperfect. Legal in some circumstances. I won't dispute that. But again, there's no perfect solution in these situations. But these laws, or again, in the case of the UEA issue, it's not even a law, it's a guideline they want you to try and stick to. They would not have introduced it unless they saw that there's a major imbalance in the sort of people running for these positions. And, it is good to have diversity for the student societies. In terms of wider society, that's a whole other debate in the workplace and all of that stuff. And I tell you, that's a much more complex issue. But here in this nice little bubble we got on campus, it's a bit more simpler. we can disagree more agreeably, I think.
Oh, definitely. I just had the welfare officer for the SU on, Nathan Wyatt for the...
Oh, yes, I think I ran into him the other day, yeah.
And we were talking about this exact kind of debate, that university politics, university life is a microcosm for the wider society, that all the problems and kind of experiences people experience here are also reflected into wider society. And he's just been elected to the role.
Congratulations, Nathan. I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job.
I think so.
Aye.
And he seems like a very competent man. I don't think he minds me complimenting him. But he has a lot of good ideas he wants to implement. A lot to do with the cost of living and supporting people of color, and not supporting this quota kind of business, but trying to put people of color into those higher ranking positions.
So you try to encourage people to run these positions without needing to bring in the quota in the first place.